Thank you. I'm Jesse. Today I'll be telling you a bit about how I built the Where's My Phone Alexa skill with Twilio. We'll also do some live coding, recreating the main functionality of Where's My Phone. So, for those of you not familiar with Alexa, it's a voice-based AI assistant created by Amazon. Its primary interface is through Amazon's series of Echo devices, like the Echo Dot I have here. So I can just give a quick demo of Alexa's functionality. Alexa, what will the weather be like this weekend in San Francisco? Alexa, what will the weather be like this weekend in San Francisco? Okay, I get the feeling she doesn't like public speaking. Custom functionality for Alexa can also be built by developers and distributed as skills, which is just Amazon's name for Alexa apps. So the primary platform for Alexa skill development and hosting is Aws Lambda, which is a microservice host. Microservices are a really great, cost-effective fit for event-driven computing, like Alexa skill development. So in a metaphor I came up with, if running your own hardware, running your own servers, physical servers is like buying a car, and running a VPS, a virtual private server, is like renting a car, then microservices are kind of like hailing a Lyft, like the ride-sharing service. So with microservices, you only pay for the time your code actually spends executing, which is, as I said, very good for event-driven computing. Also important in Alexa development, the intent schema, which is a JSON document that just tells Alexa how to interpret speech the user delivers to your device. So it doesn't actually do any of the processing, but it sort of defines the different ways that your skill can receive input. So if Alexa is feeling a bit more cooperative, a demo of the Where's My Phone skill. Okay. Alexa, open Where's My Phone?
Sorry, your Echo Dot lost its connection.
Okay. Okay, I don't think that's going to work. Hopefully, maybe I can use, I'll try the Amazon app on my phone. Open Where's My Phone?
I'm not quite sure how to help you with that.
Okay, let me just try one more time. Open Where's My Phone?
Welcome to Where's My Phone. It looks like you don't have a phone number set. Would you like to set your phone number?
Yes, please.
Please dictate the 10 digits of your phone number.
215-460-5946.
I heard 215-460-5946. Is this correct?
Yes, it is.
Okay, I've sent a verification call to that number.
Okay, that's the number call coming in.
This is an automated verification call from the Where's My Phone Alexa skill. To verify ownership of this phone number, press 1. If you have received this call in error, or your number is now verified. Goodbye.
Okay, that's the verification stage, and then for the location call stage, so if I've lost my phone under a cushion on the couch, you know, that happens sometimes. Open Where's My Phone?
Welcome to Where's My Phone. Would you like me to call your phone or change your phone number?
Call my phone.
Calling your phone now.
Okay. And then usually that ring would be all you need to find your phone, if the couch or whatever. Or under a cushion on the couch. I don't know how you get your phone under the couch. Okay. Someone just tweeted me with that quote that I made about Lyft. Okay, thank you, whoever you are. Anyway, so normally, of course, I'd be able to interact with Alexa through the Echo Dot. I'll try it again a little bit later and see if that's working now. In fact, I'm going to unplug it and plug it back in again, turn it off and turn it back on again. Okay. So, this is when you're developing Alexa skills, it's often helpful to create a voice user interface or VUI diagram to help illustrate the flow of your skill in a visual form. So this is the one that I made for the Where's My Phone skill. I actually made this after the skill for this presentation just to help illustrate, but it's often helpful to create one before developing your skill and maybe modify it while you're working on the skill. So as you can tell, it's just a flow chart, which is really, a flow is really all an Alexa skill does. So it starts with open Where's My Phone. It checks if the user has the phone number set. If not, it prompts it for a number. It's basically what I showed just here with Alexa. So the details under the hood of how Where's My Phone works. It's composed of two Lambda functions, two microservices, one called the skill function and the other called the caller function. They're both written in Node.js. The skill function is invoked by the Alexa service to respond to user requests. So if I say, open Where's My Phone, the Alexa goes and talks to the skill and says, the user asked to open Where's My Phone, what should I say now? The skill provides the response, and then just it really goes back and forth between Alexa and that skill function. That skill Lambda function. And then the caller function handles all of the interactions with the Twilio API. So it uses the Twilio helper library to initiate calls and generate TWIML responses. So when it's invoked by the skill function, and the skill function tells the caller function to send out a call to this number. And then when that call is picked up, Twilio then invokes the caller function. Twilio says, hey, the user just picked up this call. What should I say now, or what should I do now? So again, then it's going back and forth between Twilio and the caller function. And version control and deployment is managed with the Apex tool, which is just a deployment management tool for. Is this going off a bit? Okay. It's a deployment management tool for. I'm going to switch to here. Hello. Ooh. Okay. It's a deployment management tool for Aws Lambda, and it's really useful because it supports projects that incorporate multiple Lambda functions. And really, with any big microservice project, you're going to have multiple microservices that are talking to each other. Okay. So live coding time. So before we start live coding, this is the voice user interface for the simplified version of the Where's My Phone skill that we're going to make today. So I've cut down a bit of the fat, so just the meaty parts remain. So the three main stages are having the user dictate their phone number, checking if that phone, reading the number back to them to have them to confirm that it's valid, then sending out the verification call, and then after the user has verified their number, supporting the user just asking Alexa to call their phone. So after it's been verified, just helping them find their phone if they've lost it. I guess that's 4 stages actually. Oops, don't go there yet. Okay, so 1 minute. I just realized that I forgot to take my printed outline out of my bag. 1 minute, please. Okay. I should have remembered that. Okay, so. Okay, so, is this mic going to be working now, or should I stay on here? Maybe? Okay, I'll stay here. Okay, can you see that? Can you see that okay? Zoom in, oops. Okay, so first we're going to, oops, wrong file. So here where it says app.launch, this is using, remember this is using, oh I didn't mention, this is using the Alexa app framework, which is a helper library, a helper framework built on top of the Alexa API. And I find it quite useful because it's frankly a lot easier to use than the official Alexa library for Node.js. So I highly recommend that you use this framework or a framework like it if you're building your own Alexa skills with Node.js and with Lambda. Okay, so first we're going. As you can see, I built a skeleton of the skill already. So some of the less important functionality has already been made here. So the actual definitions of each intent and the declarative statements here that say like that this takes in a command of the form change my phone number. I've filled out that stuff already, but we're going to make most of the actual business logic of the skill. So when we receive, so upon launch, we should just greet the user with, say, welcome to where's my phone. Okay, and now we should check if the number is already in the database. So, so check if this is an existing user or a new user. So I have a helper function down here called check for number. This just calls the DynamoDB database to see if there is already a user with that user ID that exists in the database. So we'll just say check number and then request. Request.session details user ID, and that's the user's ID. So it'll that check number function will return a user record if that user exists in the database, or just undefined if that user is not in the database. So we'll switch on if user record exists. So if the user record exists, then we'll ask them if they want to call their phone or change their phone number. So would like to call. Okay. So let's just else. So if the user record doesn't exist. You don't have. Remember to escape your quotation marks. Please. Okay. Response.say. Okay, and then two other things at the end here. These response.say method calls tell the Alexa app framework to sort of queue up those strings to speak. But we haven't actually sent the response yet. So first we'll say, we'll tell it not to end the session. So by default, if you don't use this, the Alexa will just end the session afterwards, and it won't keep listening for further user input. So this tells it to that we're expecting the user to say something else, so to keep listening for user input. And then response.send, and paired with that, return false down here. The reason we're doing that is because the Alexa app framework expects you to return false and then call response.send later if the logic for an intent handler is asynchronous. So since we're calling out to a database and waiting for a response, a very quick response usually on the order of like 50 milliseconds, but still we're waiting for a response to come in, we need to do return false and then send that response later once we have all the required information there. Okay, so I'll upload the skill using Apex and try it out now. I'm going to try the dot one more time. If it doesn't work, I'll just stay with my phone. Alexa, open Where's My Phone signal. Okay, no, that's not working. So let's go into here. Open Where's My Phone signal. hearing anything. I don't know if that's a internet connection problem or... Open Where's My Phone signal. Okay.
Welcome to Where's My Phone. Would you like me to call your phone or change your phone number?
Okay. Stop. Okay. That's what we just made right here. This launch intent, which is it's basically like another intent, but I need to disable Twitter notifications. But okay. This just is when the user invokes the skill using something like Alexa, open Where's My Phone, or Alexa, start Where's My Phone. Okay, so that's working. Now let's assume at the beginning it's often useful to code your skill in the order that the user encounters each part of your business logic of the logic of the skill. So when a user starts the skill for the first time, they won't have a phone number set. So we should sort of pursue this option first, that they're dictating the 10 digits of their phone number. So I have this intent created here called phone number intent, and that just matches really an ordinary number. So if I say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that'll come through as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. First, it'll come through as a string. So we should define number to be, we'll parse in integer of request.slot phone number. So you'll see that for this intent, I defined these just one slot, and a slot is it's really a slot in a piece of the user's speech that can be sort of a wildcard. So I can, it's like a parameter for a function, except that function is actually speech, if that makes sense at all. But normally, or in other intents, I would be able to say something like, my phone number is, and then this bit here in the utterance. But since we're just expecting the user to just give a number, not say my phone number is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it's just the only part of the utterance is that number there. Okay, so we have that number variable, which is just an integer. We'll read it back to the user. Response, say, I heard, and just leave that blank for a minute. Is this correct? So what I'm going to put in here is something called SSML. That's speech synthesis markup language. It's just it's XML that tells Alexa to read something in a specific way. We're overriding how the text-to-speech engine would normally read out something because we want Alexa just to read the individual digits of the phone number because if my phone number is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0, we don't want Alexa to read it as 12,345,000,000, etc., because that's not how you say a phone number. So we'll say as, which is an SSML command. And then in here, we'll say interpret as telephone. So that tells Alexa to interpret the text here as a telephone number, and then just splice in there the number, and since it's JavaScript, it'll just be coerced into a string, so we don't need to worry about type conversion or anything. So again, we're going to do the same thing here, where we don't end the session yet, and we don't need response.send because this isn't asynchronous. This is synchronous. We're not calling out to a database or anything, so we don't have to do return false and response send. And something else I'll do. We'll set session variables. So number, and I don't need to make the string. And then response session, I'll explain this in a minute. Okay. So what we're doing here, we're setting a session variable called state. Now this is because Alexa doesn't actually have any native state management, so keeping track of, or actually they added this very recently, so this is a little bit outdated. But at the time that this code was written, there wasn't any native state management, so when Alexa calls your skill function, the function has no way of knowing really where the user is in the user interface flow. So again, at the time that this code was written, you need to store a session variable like this that keeps track of your state. And then I have another session variable that's number. So if the user says, yes, that is correct, we need to keep that number, the phone number, through the flow of the user interface, so it's acceptable. So it's accessible at the point when we actually need to add it to the database. And again, that we'll see that in just a minute. Okay. So let's since I'm running a little short on time, I'll ignore if they say no, basically, and assume the user is always going to say yes, that number is correct. So down here at yes intent, you'll see that we're checking if the state is verify heard number query, which we've defined right up here. So if that is it, and the user says yes, that number is correct, we'll add the number to the database. Okay. So yeah, we need to, since it'll be passed as a string again, you can't store a number, you can't store just an integer in a session variable. We'll need to really just copy the same thing up here, except it is request.session number. So we're just getting the session variable called number, which we set right up here. Okay. Now we'll add that number. I believe the add number function, takes the user ID and then the number. So user ID is, again, request.session details user ID. And then the number is that number that we just parsed into an integer up there. And then that'll just, user, is that user reference? No, that doesn't have anything. Okay. So the number, at this point, the number has been, so when we're inside this callback function, the number has been added to the database. So now we want to send a verification call to that number. And we'll say, I'll show you why I'm saying verify there in a minute, if I have time. But okay, number is just that number that we parsed right here. And then user ID is, again, request session details user ID. And then that will also, should I, that'll again give me a callback here, and then I'll just say, let's say, okay, sent verification call. And then again, since this is asynchronous, we'll do response.send. Okay, so I'm saying verify here. This call number function it's invoking the caller function, the caller lambda function. Remember I said there are two lambda functions, the scale function and the caller function. And the caller function handles all of the interactions with Twilio. So when we invoke this, we can look at the code for it right here. It'll just use the Twilio helper library for Node to just send make a call to the number that's passed to it, and then it supplies a TWIML URL that really just invokes it. It goes right back to this function here when Twilio calls that URL. Requests TWIML from that URL. Okay, so we can let's just go ahead with it now, and if I didn't screw up, this should, I should be able to. Open Where's My Phone signal. Oh, I didn't push it yet. Oops. Okay. So again, after every iteration, you need to push the changes that you made or deploy them using Apex. Let's try this again. Okay. That does not seem to be working, and unfortunately I do need to deploy this to get these latest changes and test them out here. Okay, we'll see if it works. Open Where's My Phone? Oh, oops. Open Where's My Phone signal. Okay, I have a suspicion that the internet isn't really working. Hold on. No, that's fine. Okay, well, I'll cheat a little bit. Maybe if I can, I'll deploy this. This is just a finished version of what I was hopefully going to be live coding here. And then if this works, I'll just go through the changes. I'll go through what's different in here. Okay, it's possible that the Lambda API isn't functioning properly. Okay. Well, okay. What I would have done after this, had everything been going well, we'd test this, and then we'd say here we'd say I'd dictate the 10 digits of my phone number, and then it would add those. It would repeat it back to me to check if it's correct. I'll say yes, it's correct. And then it would add that number to the database, and it would specify in the database that the number isn't verified yet, and then it would send a call to that number. And when I picked up that call and hit 1 to verify, it would, in here, it would say to verify ownership of this phone number, press 1. Then if I press 1, it would say that the number is verified, and it would update the number's record in the database to say that it is verified. And then afterwards, I can do call intent. Call intent happens if here, when it says, so if there's a record and it's verified, it would say, would you like to call your phone or change your phone number? If I say call my phone, then sorry, I would say in here something like, I just do call number, but instead of specifying verify as the type, I could actually type it. So I'd say locate, which is just a call that's not a verification call. It's just helping the user locate their phone. And then I would just say response.say, okay. Okay, here, I'm going to try this one more time to see if this will deploy. Nope, that does not seem to be working. Let's try. Open Where's My Phone signal.
There was a problem with the requested skills response.
Okay, that means there's a bug. I'll be honest, I don't know what it is, and I don't want to go and find it right now, so I'll try to deploy the finished version here. Okay, so open Where's My Phone signal.
Welcome to Where's My Phone. It looks like you don't have a phone number set. Please dictate the 10 digits of your phone number.
215-460-5946.
I heard 215-460-5946. Is this correct?
Yes.
Okay, I've sent a verification call to that number.
Is the call coming in?
This is an automated verification call from the Where's My Phone Alexa skill. To verify ownership of this phone number, press 1. Your number is now verified. Goodbye.
Okay. So it's just updated here, verified number. It's just updated the key verified for that user record in the database to be true. And then I'll run it again. Open Where's My Phone signal.
Welcome to Where's My Phone. Would you like me to call your phone or change your phone number?
Call my phone.
Calling your phone now.
Okay, that's just
This is
yeah, that's just the locator call. So that's what I just deployed is okay. I think I need to wrap up right about now, but just to be real quick here, Okay, final notes. Tips for Alexa development. Implement analytics beforehand. So when I first made the Where's My Phone skill and released it onto the Alexa Skills Store, there weren't really any analytics at all. So I didn't know how users were using my skill, if everyone was encountering errors, and that's why they were using it so much. They were retrying. So implement analytics beforehand so you can figure out how users are using your skill. Okay, code the logic for your skill in the order that the user encounters it. So that's what I mentioned earlier. So make a VUI diagram if you like diagrams, and then just code in the order that the user would encounter each bit of logic that's in your skill. And then just if you're using Lambda, use a tool like Apex because it makes everything so much easier compared to using the Node library from Amazon. Okay, so the code for this presentation will be on my GitHub shortly, as well as the full Where's My Phone skill, which is there already. And then I'll be outside for questions, or you can email me at that very easy to remember email address. And thank you.